All right, traders, how's it going? Mike here with the watch list video for Thursday, October 12th. The SPY holding up really well again. It looks like today's range was inside of yesterday's. Kind of a quiet day. If you look at the intraday, kind of a slow sideways chop all day, right? Having said that, if you didn't make the market, if you didn't make trading today, if you didn't show up to work, there was definitely some crazy stuff, which you'll see as I go through this video. But let me show a couple highlights from some calls today. Nicholas, there's his screenshot from chat, gave VFS, if you like it, over 770, which was the earlier high. It was on our morning gap playlist. Broke 7070 and worked pretty much right away. I thought that was a pretty cool heads up. I called an afternoon twos buy zone. That red thing is just covering something that wasn't trading related, but my trading related post was right below that. PSHG twos buy zone, whole number flush idea. And that was after this big pop. Came out with an offer. They had an offer to buy the company at $3, right? So I had a nice run. And so my idea was to bid below 2 here in the twos buy zone. You'll notice I got filled at 202 and sold at a limit of 220, but I got filled at 222. So made a quick 20 cents. It took about 6 to 8 minutes. Nice percentage gain. But if anyone's wondering why I called under 2, a whole number flush, and then I got filled at 202, many of us have been in chat talking about this for a long time. A lot of times I will be bidding below a whole number and it'll turn right in front of it, right? So a lot of us started splitting our bids and bidding some in front and some below. I think it went down to 199, which is where I had my other bid at 197, by the way. But if you had 199, you got filled. But this was the bid I had in front of 2. I was perfectly happy to have both of them filled. But anyway, I only got filled at 202. Still a neat little trade. Hopefully y'all understand why now. Sometimes I split the bid, some in front and some below. There's a couple highlights. PHIO also, I know Kevin gave an afternoon idea when we went on at 2 o'clock. Said, hey, what are you guys watching this afternoon? He said PHIO. Let me try to zoom in a little bit here. And it hadn't done that yet. PHIO back through 250 was his idea, which is where the horizontal line is, right? With the earlier high of day, not far above at 260. So the idea, half number inflection point with the high of day above. And it did this. I did not catch that. I asked Kevin if he caught it, and he said, yeah, he viewed it as a Tokyo when he saw that volume coming in. So I don't know if he got filled below 250, at 250, or slightly above. But he was right to view that as a Tokyo style entry, knowing that you like 250 anyway. If you were watching that and you saw the volume come in, absolutely take that, right? So that was a nice call by him too. So anyway, there's a few highlights from the day. And as I go into what we're watching for tomorrow, you'll see, if you weren't there again, you'll see some of the crazy stuff. Starting with, speak of the devil, TPST. Let me go to the daily chart. Yes, let me hover over yesterday. Yesterday it closed at 24 cents. And it really did go to 977, and it went up near 11, I think, in after hours. So here's the problem. You guys know I love a strong stock and then pullbacks to buy zones, but when you switch to 5-minute candles, hopefully you can see that the opening candle gapped up, halted, gapped down, halted. So any one of these spaces you see between the candles is because it was halted. Somebody said it halted like 30 times or something. I don't want to say that it's not tradable, because when that happens, there are some spots that are super interesting, especially like as it's coming up here and you get ready to break the earlier highs, shorts are in trouble. Scenarios like that, right? I would argue again here, knowing that the earlier highs above, and if you could get in before the halt, look what happens. It opens above the earlier highs. That happens all the time, and then it just went nuts. But it wasn't as tradable as you might think if you look at the daily. And say, wow, did I miss a big one? Because the previous days was in the 20-something cents, the formula they use bases it on the previous day's close on how far it has to move before they halt it. And it wasn't very far, as you saw, right? But anyway, I want to watch it again tomorrow. I'll tell you right now, it's trading at 585 in after hours, which isn't uncommon. So who knows, right? You want to be careful when a whole bunch of different stocks are moving, because I don't know, somebody with a big following out there, maybe several people with big followings on Twitter or StockTwits, when you have something like a TPST, there's people out there with big followings that are pretty good at saying, hey, this one will be next, and they find like a low floater, and they pile in, and then a bunch of people follow them, and then and then everyone says, "Oh, it's the next TPST," and you get a bunch of crazy moves. But you've got a couple already in after hours, and I'll talk about those in a little bit. But anyway, so TPST is going to be on watch. PWM had that pop yesterday, quiet inside day, but in the upper half of yesterday's candle, so I like that for a possible third day play. MTNB, penny stock, made a massive move, closed well off its highs though. I did catch one trade in this today on a pullback play. So that one goes on watch. MOB. This one had that pop yesterday, then gapped all the way down to here. I would have expected that thing to just keep falling, but it held up pretty well, all things considered, so I am going to watch it tomorrow. NVAX, it popped up here today to 812, and back here, it wasn't that long ago, it hit 815. So that and let me pan out a little bit, you get a better look at it. So you had big volume there. So back through 8 tomorrow might be an idea, right? Knowing that 812 and 815 are potential catalysts above, and there's a ton of shorts in the name. So I am, even though it closed way below 8, I am going to keep it on watch. TUP is Tupperware. Big pop today. Strong close. We're going to watch that one tomorrow. VSME was on bounce watch today. I thought it was going to give us a trigger. I thought we were going to have a 2-day high break over yesterday's high was $1.60. Then this morning's high was $1.60. And it looked like it was curling up to take it out, and then it flushed again. So no trades in it. But I remind you, this was what? A few sessions ago, $8.64. And today it closed at $1.10. I'm just looking for a snapback bounce. That is one ugly chart, but I'm a day trader, so if I get a bounce play set up, I'll try it, right? GRTX is on bounce watch because it had nice news back here. And ever since it more than doubled, right? From here, more than doubled, and then finally put in a red day. Now, if you know me, most of you do in chat, you know I'd like to see another red day and get down in the buy zone, and it would be one of my favorite bounce play setups. Sometimes you get a really strong move, especially after good news. You get one red day, shorts start to come in, thinking it's overdone, right, to the upside, and then it goes right up again. So for that reason, I am going to put it on bounce watch tomorrow, but I would like to see one more red day. Well, it doesn't cost me anything to have it on a chart. SMR goes on watch with that big pop and like a 3-day flag right at those recent highs. PSHG, it's that one I showed you, the 2's buy zone whole number flush today. Again, it had a buyout offer at 3. I like the chart, the candle, so it could have a second day. WE, you got to kind of zoom in to see this, and I'm going to explain why it's on watch. If I zoom way in, you can kind of tell it had extra volume today, bigger volume than the last 6 or 7 sessions, but it closed well off its highs. I go to 15-minute candles now, pan back out, so you can kind of see that, yes, it did have a decent pop today. I don't like the way it rolled over at the end of the day, but this one had all kinds of bankruptcy rumors, and I'm not telling you they're not going bankrupt. I have no idea. It's part of the reason why I'm in cash every night. I don't like my neck being stuck out there. But if this, I guess they had decent news today. If it comes out that, they're not going to file for bankruptcy, you could get a lot of shorts in this thing have to get out, right? So you could get a squeeze. When you look at the daily like this, you don't even see anything, right? But I did notice it because on an intraday basis, it did have a nice push. So anyway, it goes on watch, kind of a sleeper pick. VOXX, nice breakout today. We're going to see if it gives a follow-through setup. And then here's 2 crazy ones. SECO in after hours. You see it closed at 32 cents. 32 cents. In after hours, I'm not sure how high this went. Let's go to 5-minute candles and after hours, and you can look at it. So this went all the way to 379. It's coming back down now, down here near 2. Anyway, we'll see if it's doing something in the morning. The real money was whoever's got the big following and pointed that out early and filled their coffers with it and sold to everyone who chased it. That's who's really making the money here. But if it holds up, maybe we get another TPST. I don't know. And then OPGN, there's the daily, closed at 33 cents. Trading at $1.53 right now in after hours. So be very careful when people start jumping from one to another just because one random ticker went nuts today, right? Be very careful. I generally don't like trading stuff like that. The other side of my brain says it is nice to see some small caps ripped, right? So maybe we will get some follow through on some of them. Who knows? I'll only take the entries if I get A+ setups. You guys know that. Man, I've babbled for almost 10 minutes. I'm done. We'll see you in chat in the morning.